right, Reddit's winning. Amazon's visibility is slipping, and AI just stole a third of your clicks. Let's break it all down without the fluff. Now that the Google March core update dust has settled, I'm here to unpack the biggest shifts and tell you what's working, what's fading, and what you can actually do to stay visible. So, the first thing I want to talk about is above the fold value is king. This means that the first lines of your content need to answer the user's query immediately. No intros, no fluff. So when someone lands or does a search or lands on your blog post or social media post or whatever content you're creating, they need to have that answer before they scroll down. So above the fold. If they scroll down, that looks bad in the eyes of Google. They need to have the answer right away, and then you can add fluff or additional content later on. But the first couple of sentences, the title, everything needs to go towards answering the question or the query immediately. So no fluff. So an example would be if someone searches how to install vinyl plank flooring, they don't want 5 paragraphs on flooring trends. They want step 1, remove the baseboards. Step 2, clean the subfloor, right away. So this is really important. So it's like hiring a handyman and then he starts giving you the history of hammers. It makes no sense. So people are gonna basically, if they have to scroll or they're not finding the answer right away, they're going to leave, and that's going to affect your ranking when it comes to Google. So this is really important, and that's section number, or the first thing I want to talk about. Section 2, the second thing I'm going to talk about is Reddit's rising. So this is a graph, a recent graph of Reddit, and you can see they're on fire. I mean, they keep rising. They keep getting a lot of searches and showing up a lot in Google searches because users trust fast, personal, real world answers. So Google is noticing that people are literally, when they started to do searches, they were literally typing the question and then typing Reddit to get them. So they're typing the question and then typing the site reddit.com because they wanted to see the Reddit results and not necessarily Google results. Quora, this is Quora graph. It's slipping a little bit. It's going down because it's not as valuable to people. People want answers from real people. It's the same thing when you go and you look at reviews for restaurant, hotels. You value what they're saying the most. You don't value what the hotel's saying or other hotels are saying. You value what the actual people are saying. So the same thing applies when it comes to Reddit. It's very, very valuable. And independent forums are nearly invisible now. Here's a graph. This is one on, I think this was on dog breeds. And you can see its rise, but then since the recent changes, it's literally fallen off a cliff. So independent forums are nearly invisible now with the changes. They're less valuable. That's considered a lot of fluff. Again, people want real world, real people answers to their questions. So a good example of this, for interior design. So say you want a paint color that makes a small room feel bigger. A Reddit thread could give you 4 to 5 answers with photos. We use Sherwin-Williams alabaster. It totally worked. So Google is rewarding this type of practical human first content. So that's something to keep in mind with your content strategy and with what's working, and if you want to participate in Google rather than these other sources. The third thing I'm seeing with this change is bottom of the funnel really is the sweet spot. So in your marketing, you have the top of the funnel, the more broad-based keywords and topics, but what Google is really starting to value is the bottom of the funnel, much more specific keywords and service pages, and basically tied to what the person is specifically looking for, tied to purchase intent. And this is one of the reasons why I think Google's visibility is starting to drop a little bit, and we see brands like Wayfair kind of getting more visible, is because they're doing, Wayfair is doing basically they're doing pages and service pages on what the actual customer is looking for, rather than the broad-based top of funnel keywords. So if someone is looking for lighting for their home, you could top of the funnel keyword or top of the funnel topics would be best lighting for low ceilings. So it's broad, but it would still apply. But a better example, a bottom of the funnel article or service page or sales page would be flush mounted LED lighting for 8-foot ceilings. So this is way more specific. So if someone is searching for that type of lighting for their 8-foot ceilings, this is going to be super valuable. If they land on this, which is just lighting for low ceilings, it's a lot less valuable because it may or may not apply. So this is why Google is given the nod to the bottom of funnel, very specific keywords for your service pages, for your landing pages, for your blog articles, for all those things. And what I've been using that's been really good for the bottom of the funnel topics and content strategy and SEO is Arvow. So they allow you to create articles where you can do SEO articles. This is all AI generated, but it is specifically tied to what's working with Google and the SEO elements that are really important. So it's not just like copying and paste something from ChatGPT. So you can do bottom of the funnel keywords or bottom of the funnel topics. So if I wanted to do what I was just talking about, I could do flush mounted LED lighting for 8-foot ceilings as the title, and then I could do as the keywords, I could do lighting for low ceilings or best lighting or something like that, and create an entire article that's SEO optimized for bottom of the funnel. So you can go in here and see, and there's a lot of customization you can do here. And if you want to try this out for free, there is a link below because I really believe in this tool. But here's like an example of an article that you can create. This is for, let's say, real estate. But this is creating bottom of the funnel or top of the funnel topics. And this is all generated with the keyword optimization. And it includes internal links. You can include relevant YouTube videos, your own or someone else's trending YouTube videos. AI generated images. They have alt text behind the scenes, meta descriptions, H1, H2, H3 titles. So this is completely optimized for SEO. And this is a great tool to use for the bottom of the funnel content. And you can optimize this and share this to social media. You can automatically share this to your website. And this is an auto blogger too. So you can set this to release articles daily, multiple times a day, multiple times a week, whatever you want to do. So I would check that out for bottom of the funnel. It's working really well, and in a couple of clicks, you can create really great content. The fourth thing I want to talk about is AI overviews are really killing clicks, which is an important thing to keep in mind. So this is what I'm talking about here, is if you're searching for how to boil eggs, it's giving you an overview. It's giving that information right away. So this is why it's important to start structuring your content in this way, because overviews are already doing it, because this is what people want to know. They want this information right away. But it's also causing them not to necessarily click into this is where it's stealing clicks, because it's giving them an overview. They're not necessarily going to have to click into these other sources, but it also depends how deep your content is. The content should give them the answer right away, but then it's going to go a little bit deeper. So depending on the topic and the niche, they're going to want to go a little bit deeper. But this is how you should start to structure your content to give instant answers, so you can compete with AI and your content will show up first, rather than be bottom or top of the funnel and not show up because it's not giving them the answer right away. So that's just something to keep in mind. The fifth thing to keep in mind is Google's boosting sites that show depth and trust around a certain niche. So this basically goes beyond just writing lots of content. It's about consistency and offsite reinforcement. So let's just say you run a site on sustainable home renovations. You're better off getting featured on green building directories, eco podcast guest spots, and things like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind is Google connects these signals and says this person knows what it's talking about. So that's why when you do create, content, whether it's, using Arvow or whatever the case may be, you want to show that you know what you're talking about by linking to internal and external links. You know what I mean? You can do this within Arvow. You can include your sitemap and link internally. You can link externally to trusted sources, but you also want to take this blog and index it, which Arvow does it for you. It automatically indexes your blogs. You want to share your blogs on social media to create social proof, which Arvow does for you as well. You also want to take that blog and then share it, do snippets on LinkedIn. You do snippets everywhere you can, and basically get featured and backlinked as many places as you can just to build that authority. So it's never like a one and done with your content. You have to get it out there, share it to your Google business page is another example of a way to basically get your blog and your content out there and get it indexed and build more authority to show that you know what you're talking about. And in return, it's going to sit better in the eyes of Google, and it's going to help get ranked better. So those are the main things with the changes that I'm seeing and the important takeaways. All right, so to wrap everything up, your action plan and what this all means for you, the main takeaways is make sure your content, the most important answers are above the fold. Avoid fluffy intros, lead with value. Make sure that you are focusing on bottom of the funnel keywords. Again, you can use a tool like Arvow to do that when you're creating your content. That is really, really important. And it's going to be your way to compete with AI and get users their information as fast as possible. But what do you guys think about the changes? Do you agree or disagree with my interpretation? How do you think this is going to affect your business or what you're doing? Let me know. Put a comment below. Let me know. Again, if you want to use Arvow, there's a link below. Check it out. It's a great tool to give you an SEO boost and just make you be able to do things a lot faster. I actually just did a complete review of Arvow here in this video, going over all the features because there's a ton that obviously I couldn't go over here. But yeah, that is it. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be back soon with some more good stuff for you.